I was haunted by a Moab in my sleep. That's how I learned how to survive. And I gave a bomb to a balloon that was lead.
Hello. Good to see you. Oh, wait, I have no chat. There it is. By the way, okay, I appreciate the happy partner anniversary. I really do. I want you to know that that is from like 2014 when I was working at Twitch and I just walked into the office and gave myself partner. It's not earned. It was a random day. It was a random day. I went to the back end and I just flipped the switch on my account. It's not, at no point is that a memorable day for me. But thank you for the happy partner anniversaries. Really, nothing like July 17th. Thank you for the subs, Trisket and Tyroidin, and good to see you all. Yeti and End of Light and Mecca and Brian and Guppy Fish and Nikki, Kleeble, Dr. Battle, Snack Music, Chicken Liver, Carrier, Pineapple Baby, Redaptive. What's up? Good to see you all. Punch, even Punch is here. Good to see you, Punch. Daddy Lamp, Jump Roy, MS. A50. I saw you posted the YouTube channel as a YouTube frog. Yes, I am very happy for one thing, and that is for people that are YouTube frogs to not come in on every single stream and be like, hey, when are you going to post thing on the YouTube channel? Now I can be like, I did post something on the YouTube channel, and then we have an answer to that question, which is good because it's Januga's here. What's up, Januga? My boy Chris, thank you for the 9 months. The update video was cool and all, but when are you going to drop the song? Yeah, you know what I should have done was continue that ukulele bit for 5 minutes, and then I could copyright strike the video if anyone reacted to it. That would have been a really great idea. Really smart business move. Lud shouted out the new vid. I went on a hike with Lud yesterday. He watched the vid twice before it went out and gave me his thoughts on it and gave me feedback, and it was good. He was really helpful. Good guy. Good guy, good friend. Mission Incognito. Where did you hike? You want the exact address, bro? You want me to give you the path? The restaurant we ate afterwards? List of greatest fears? Yeah, good idea. Do bald again, Atrioc? Bro, I'm bald enough. I'm bald enough as it is. I feel like, there was definitely a good amount of really positive comments, which was great. Although the way the internet works, it's like a pendulum. So if it's really positive today, then, I have to be a little stoic about it because that means tomorrow people are going to be mad that it's so positive. And then, so it'll swing back and forth until eventually it's in the middle where people stop caring, which is cool. Because I'm trying to like focus on just making content. But a lot of the comments were also like, man, your hairline looks even shittier than it did before. I was like, okay, not really related. Not really a comment on what the video was about. But I appreciate that, I guess. Really zeroed in on the hairline thing, which is like, okay, I am 6 months older. Hair looking real shiny. Honestly, on God, this is real. Ari recommended getting a fucking one of those anti-shine things. Because since I did the new angle, which by the way, everyone loves the new angle. Since I got the new angle, it is like shining the light right on my fucking forehead, which is glistening like the sun. I won't lie about it. I notice it just as much as anyone else. It's a shiny forehead. Got that big ass forehead reflecting all that light. Yes, that's what I said. Thank you. Appreciate you letting me know. Not sure if this was asked before, but when is the hair coming back? Very fun. Very good. Very clever. Sanguine Phoenix, thank you for the 28 months. I appreciate. Babyback Ribs, thank you for the 3 months. Oko54, thank you for the 12. Goulahan, thank you for the prime. I like that name. Goulahan's a cool username. Goulahan. Field Train, thank you for the 26. Simply Clouded, thank you for the 22. Big A, it's okay. You don't have to respond. I'm kind of a celebrity. Probably won't hear it. All right. Well, thank you so much, Simply Clouded, for the privilege of your 22-month sub. When we get a Honda Civic, will you even have hair? Just wondering. LOL, just thinking about stuff. I will have this level of hair, all right? This is my hair I've always had. You know what? This is as high as my forehead's always been, by the way. You guys continue to remind me of it every year, every fucking 6 months. I'm sure nobody has asked, but when are you uploading your next video? Oh, great. Fucking months of people asking you about the first video, and now it's videos on the next. Yeah, it's up to Quack. It's all in Quack's hands now, okay? I've given him stuff to make videos out of. He has to edit it with the team and upload it. At that point, it's him. So get mad at him. I don't pay him, so get mad at him. That'll motivate him. Thank you, Dry Bones, for the 13 months. Big A, are you gonna start paying the writers who write all the jokes for your stream? Kind of fucked that you don't. Well, no, there's a writer strike, okay? So I can't pay writers because they'd be on strike. But unpaid interns are fine. Which is what all my writers are. And editors and staff. Thank you, Grodro. Thank you for the 5 months. And the nice message. Pawn Monster, thank you for the 18 months. Walk Dog, thank you for the 14. Regret leaving. My puts in Atrioc are paying off. Well, I mean, I guess they would have paid off earlier. Play us a song on your millennial guitar. Oh, you mean my... I'm gonna throw this away. I mean, I have no use. I cannot play any music. I used it for a 1 second bit and now I have no use. And the only reason I did that bit, I'll just be straight up honest with you, is because the hardest part of that video for me was I didn't know how to start it. And I think everyone, but myself included, fucking hate YouTuber videos that open with the big sigh, fiddling with the camera. I just think that's so fucking whack, and I didn't like it at all. But it's like, how do you start a video? I don't know. And so it was like frustrating me because I was trying to just talk and I didn't want to. So that's why I did. I just did it to like, just go. Just like gives me a start. And then I just talked. I did that whole thing in like one take. So, Warren Buffett invested $1.3 billion in Activision Blizzard. I saw that. Warren Buffett strikes again, bro. He last second put $1.3 billion in, basically knowing the merger would go through. And then it basically has. And he cashed in. He just did like a quick fucking, he ran it up. Warren Buffett fucking stays winning. The dude's like 98 years old and is still fucking hustling for, small gains in merger arbitrage. Seems pretty easy to make money once you have money. I think you're not too wrong. We'll talk about it today. I mean, we have a lot. Again, in about 10 minutes, we'll start Marketing Monday. I think it's a good one today. A lot to talk about. Yeah, big updates. Big updates. Big stuff going on in the world. Interesting. Ice cream. So yum. Gang. But again, happy partner anniversary. I appreciate that. You guys coming in and saying that. It is not really a real day for me. Partner anniversary is not real. I just gave myself partner in 2014 while working on a random day. I didn't earn it. Didn't stream for 6 years after that. So any reason you didn't do fist on head in the thumbnail? That would have been very poor taste, I think. The classic. I forgot about that. Just on head. I want the ukulele. I can pay for shipping. Too bad, bro. Oh, I'm not worried about the fucking shipping cost. I don't want to send it to you. It'll work. Hitman with Squeaks praise. No, but I did talk to Squeaks, and we might be doing. Actually, I think we will do Fortnite. We're gonna do Fortnite duos. It's gonna be Atrioc and Squeaks Fortnite duos. Boomer Victory Royale hunting. We just got to find a day. So just one guy with a full head of hair, and zero controversy, and then one guy who's a little bit balding, and he's got the whole January 6th thing, so. You are the white Squeaks. That was my title at one point. my Twitch title. White Squeak, less controversial white Squeaks. Hello, Atrioc. Is this a real Marketing Monday? Yes, it's a Marketing Monday today, starting in like 10. I'm just chilling for a bit, maybe get a water, and then probably after that when we watch House or something. I don't know. We'll see. It'll be a vibe check. Do you think this Microsoft merger is something we're gonna look back and call foolish? Yeah, I do, but we'll talk about it later. Have you ever thought that Fortnite is the new Bloons? No, I don't think so. I think I was way more obsessed with Bloons because I played Bloons offline a lot. I grinded Bloons. I mean, I played Bloons for 100+ hours offline, and I haven't played any Fortnite offline once. So I don't have the same. Hey, Atrioc, when are you doing the TikTok NPC stream? Bro, easy money. Easy fucking money. Gang. Ice cream so yum. Gang. I mean, it's just, we'll talk about it. I got to think about it in Marketing Monday. Get to it. Coffee so coffee so yum. Glizzy gang. Oh shit, dude, that's easy money. Will you stream Fortnite 2 when it comes out? There's no Fortnite 2. You're smoking reefer. Fortnite 2? Dude, just searching it has ruined literally just searching Fortnite 2, I've probably got all this Zoomer shit. It's like fucking Zoomers my uncle works at fucking Epic Games. It's coming soon. Happy 3 years. Thank you, Stelios. Appreciate it. And I saw your picture today of us. Oh, dude, this was so fucking funny. Wait, where's that picture? I sent it to Stans. Wait, I sent it to Stans. It was, wait. Check this out. This is it. Oh, wait, I still have my fucking live split. And I need chat. And it was this guy saying, after I left Genesis 8, I saw people taking pictures of these guys. I was like, who they are? No idea who they are to this day. Do any of y'all know? And it's me and Stan. And I take a picture with two random guys. That's so funny because I remember this guy. Like we were... That was fucking... To get Humegalold in person is fine. To get Humegalold on a photo they asked to take 6 months later, that's an art. That's a beautiful art. And I don't know if I've ever experienced that. Stop saying Happy Partner Day. I don't know. It's going to be, is this the whole time? Like every third message is Happy Partner Day. It's not my partner day. I partnered myself randomly 6 years before I streamed. This day has no meaning to me at all. Is this a button or are you guys copy pasting it? I can't tell. Are you guys, is it like a chat prompt that is telling you to do this or am I? Oh, it's a button. Okay, that makes way more sense. I was like, why is everyone saying this? Like, you guys are remarkably consistent with this spam. Thank you for the first time chat. Happy partner anniversary from Dead Tarkus. Thank you so much. Your first message meant a lot to me. How's everybody doing? How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Anyone, wait, congratulations on 6 months of no thumbnail streams. Yes, finally. Well, now that I've, honestly, I probably would have waited. I was really kind of dragging my feet on that video because you can tell I recorded the first part of it like 2 weeks ago. And one of the things that pushed me, I'll just be honest with you, is Quack. Quack's like, hey man, I want to work. Like I want to put videos up. And I was like, all right, well, I'm like getting in the way of this guy's job and what he wants to do. So, and he kind of like heart-to-hearted me. Like he's like, hey, what's going on? So it kind of pushed me. And then, you stopped with Hitman speedruns? No. Well, I stopped right now. Yeah, I did. Because fucking Ask the Storyteller gave me a fucking mod that lost me all my items. So I don't want to play, which is good. I think it's bad. I think I need a break from Hitman. So I'm doing a big Hitman break. So yeah, thank Ask the Storyteller. He ruined it. I started my new job today and it was so much fun. Are you a fucking plant? Why did you say that like you have a gun to your head? Blink twice, dude. You put 4 exclamation points like it was like I'm having the best time. Nobody talks like that. What job is that much? I mean, you can have a job that you enjoy and feel fulfillment from. What job is that much fun that it's 4 exclamation points? First day at Amazon warehouse. I'm here for my 13th hour. This is great. He's a writer scab. We'll talk about that today too. I got a job at a game store and it's Pog. Interesting. Most people I know who were gamers that got jobs at game stores thought they would like it and ended up hating it. Like it really disillusioned them. That's the general sense that I got. They end up really fucking hating the customers. They get burnt out even on games. And the discount, they never really have time to enjoy it as much as they thought they would. That's the story that but maybe it's chiller. Maybe it's more chill than I thought. Did you see the nurse scab day in my life TikTok? No. Oh wait, I did. It's like the woman she's a strike nurse. I did see this. There's a woman, because a lot of nurses are on strike. And so there's a strike nurse who's basically a professional scab that flies from hospital to hospital doing nursing work at below market rates so they don't have to pay. It's so fucked. And she's like paying the life like it's the coolest thing. That's crazy. You're literally like glamorizing the idea of breaking labor lines. Above market rate? Interesting. I see why. That makes more sense than they pay way more. So it's really more like, it's like the hospitals are willing to take temporary pain and pay above market rate to avoid signing a long-term contract that would have to raise wages. They would rather pay a scab now to try and break strikers so they can get labor costs down long-term. Cringe. But ideally they have to do both. 21st Schizo, thank you for the tier 1. Judas Red Boots, thank you for the Romanian $25, which is $5 US, and the happy partner anniversary, which again is not a real day for me. When will S3K strike? They've been on strike for a year. S3K been on strike for a lot longer than I was on a break, dude. They've been on strike for, it's like 2021. Although we might do Fortnite with them. At this point, everyone should strike. Ooh, a general strike, huh? Starbucks roasteries just announced their union. Good for them. Yeah, I mean, there's been a ton of labor movement activity. And like I said in a previous Marketing Monday, we'll talk about it a little bit today, but the acting strike is like massive, highly publicized motivation for other labor movements, especially if it's successful. I hope it's successful. But, actors are just, they're influencers, bro. I mean, they have a lot of people's eyes on them. And if they're doing it and they're talking about how great it is and they're on the picket line, and it's like a big plus for making it seem like more acceptable to do. Comic Con gonna be great. Aware. I know you're just being, whatever. You're like not being too serious. But I do hear that where it's like people are like, wow, they couldn't wait till strike till after Comic Con. Great. And it's like, bro, I'm sorry you don't get to see your favorite actor at fucking Comic Con promoting a movie, but like, dude, I just saw some blood boiling tweets, dude. Some guy with the fucking hero, like the guy standing up, the old timey guy standing up hero meme, and he's like, I don't care if actors get paid less. I'm like, bro, you're just so fucking selfish and short term thinking. Do I have this fucking tweet? And there was like a good amount of likes on it. People were like, yeah, who cares if these crybabies? And it's like, bro, just fucking think about it. And like, money is either not going to them, it's going to fucking Bob Iger, dude. Are you really that much of a simp for him? Watched your YouTube video 2 hours after it came out. Sorry, I lost you. YouTube frog never comes over here. I'm proud of the room. Thanks, Chris Vinderburr. Very kind of you to say. Appreciate it. Ron Perlman based. Dude, you have that link? Wait, does anyone have that? Because I'm not going to talk about, I don't have it in my slides. I think he ended up deleting it. But Ron Perlman, the actor who's done like a bunch of stuff, but I'm thinking of, I just watched him in Poker Face. Hellboy. He's Hellboy. Yeah, Hellboy's the one I went to know from. And he's like, there's like two ways this ends. You say shit like people don't deserve a living wage and we start finding your house. I was like, damn, holy shit. Ron Perlman is going to be the one putting people against the wall. Yeah, it's like a lot of ways to lose a house. A lot of ways you can lose a... Oh, no, that's what it was. So one of the studio heads basically said like, hey, we're going to wait out the strike until people start losing their house. That's what he said. And it's like, that's a cold fucking thing to say. That's a cold... Like, we have a lot of money. We're studios. We're going to sit on cash and wait until people start losing their house and then they come back to work. Yeah, here's the clip. Wait, let's... Here, we'll just watch it. Shit's crazy.
Said we're going to keep this thing going until people start losing their houses and their apartments. Listen to me, mother. There's a lot of ways to lose your house. Some of it is financial, some of it is karma, and some of it is just figuring out who the said that. And we know who said that. And where he lives. There's a lot of ways to lose your house.
Jesus Christ!
You wish that on people. You wish that families starve while you're making $27 million a year for creating nothing. Be careful, mother. Be really careful.
Sheesh. But incredibly based. I mean, it's fucking true that the people making these insanely high-end salaries are not the ones creating the movies, bro. They're the ones sort of helping pitch and package it to Wall Street, but not as necessary when the consumers get right down to it. So we'll get to that. That was 100% directed at Zaslav. I'm not sure if Zaslav's the one who said the quote originally, but I do think that Zaslav's one of the main people at fault. One of the main, just absolute, be honest, idiots, bro. David Zaslav, we have the video, the HBO Max video that goes into it in more detail, but David Zaslav is paid so horrendously much to fuck things up. to pile on debt and make things worse. And it's just shocking. Like, if they were effective, if he was really crushing it and the company was thriving, it's one thing. But to be a CEO who's fucked up so bad and to get paid so much while workers are asking for relatively so little is crazy. Was he the one who changed his name to Max? Yes. He was the one who changed his name to Max, stripped HBO, threw in like 400 reruns of Chip and Joanna House Hunters as like the main fucking part of it. He was the one that like fucking deleted all the animation before they were out to go out. He did so many wasn't trade choices. Gonna have to fucking sell CNN, cancel Westworld. Well, that's minor. Actually, Westworld kind of deserved to be canceled. Last season sucked. Do you see Universal cutting all the leaves off the tree to make sure people can't strike in the shade? No. Can you link me that? Can I add that on a slide right now? Is that true? Is that actually true? Holy shit, that's real. Okay, I'm gonna add it right now on a slide. That's incredible. Wow, I can't believe they did that. That's so petty. Okay, wait. Okay, I added it. That's funny. All right. Tree law. Wait, why do you keep saying tree law? You're like Charlie Kelly, dude. Why are you spamming tree law? No, it's not going to break the Marketing Monday, Yeti. Evil villain tree. Stop saying tree law. None of you know what you're talking about. You're just saying it for no reason because the other guy said it. Tree law, tree law. Tree law is real. All right, save it. Please save it because when this slide comes up, you can say tree law again. Let me turn on the air. It's fucking hot in here. And then we're going to jump into Marketing Monday in 2 minutes. 2 minutes until Marketing Monday. Can't go half an hour sad. Yes, it was cocaine for sure. Spectacore, happy partner anniversary. Oh, he's doing blow during this important moment. Wait a minute. Did you guys see? This is not in my slides. Actually, I probably should add this. Wait, you know what? I'll save this for next week. I'll save this for next week, but let's just say there is a lot of reports that Elon Musk is like a heavy ket user. Apparently, Elon Musk has a real fucking... Here, wait, you can see it right here. Elon Musk touts ketamine for depression, but then, like, apparently he does huge doses. He does small doses for depression and then huge doses, like, at events and parties. Oh, insane. Insane. He's, like, literally like House. He's trying to be House, but without curing anybody. And thank you, Spectacore, very much for my happy partner anniversary. Yet again, reminder, it's not a real day. It's just a random day. I was working at Twitch and I gave myself partner 6 years ago, well before I started streaming. I'm just saying it over and over so people get all the buttons out of the way. Which is all part of my plan, you know, get rid of the button and then you don't have... Okay, it's 8:01, which means I'm about to do some work for you. I am about to talk you through some of what's going on in the world of marketing and business. Very simple. All I need you to do is one simple favor for me, and that is to analyze the screen I'm about to show you, find where you are on it, and then say me and tag yourself when you're in it. Starting with today's Marketing Monday. Fuck! Why do I always do the wrong transition? Starting with today's, welcome to Marketing Monday on July 17th. This is Wins and Fails, the part of the show where we go over the wins and fails in the last week in marketing and business around the globe. And guess what? Normally, right about now, I tell you some boring ass nerd economic statistic about how things are bad. Fail. This is where I normally tell you, oh, some statistic is down. Oh, recession for sure. Who cares that stocks are at all-time highs in like 8 companies? Things are bad. Oh no. Oh, credit is starting to credit access is starting to decline. Rejection rate for loan applications is starting to rise. People are getting rejected from car and auto and home loans at a higher rate than ever before. And that's the beginning sign of a credit crunch usually, which because banks are in an unhealthy spot. And that means it's the early steps of what can eventually lead to large scale unemployment. Who cares? Ew. Guess what? I don't want to be this guy. All right? I don't want to be this guy just nerdily talking about how things might go wrong when everyone else is having a good time and making money. So I want to start off by saying, maybe it's going to go a different way. Maybe the economy is going to be all right because maybe we have a hero. Maybe there's a hero out there that can save the economy. And I've found that hero. There is one person in the world who has the global presence, the power, the pure clout to raise the economic tides of an entire country or multiple countries. And her fans sound like this.
We were both young when I first saw you. I closed my eyes and the flashback starts. I'm standing there on the balcony in summer air. See the lights, see the party, the ball goes. See you make your way through the crowd and say hello.
Ladies and gentlemen, Taylor Swift might be our best hope to get out of recession. This is a legitimate quote from someone in the Federal Reserve talking about how her tour, her Eras tour, which has a record-breaking billion plus in sales, is so colossal as it tours this country, and it is raising tourism revenue everywhere. Everywhere it goes, it's raising local economy spending. It's raising travel spending. It is having a actually measurable, concrete, positive effect around this country. Now, I don't think it's as big as maybe stated here, but it's still notable that someone in the Federal Reserve mentioned it. And yeah, it's boosting the U.S. economy, fueling the national tourism industry, which is incredible, which is insane. And it's not just happening in America. Literally, when she added Australia to this tour, economists started saying it can help Australia avoid a recession. Because of how many people would be traveling internet. I mean, she's literally picking and choosing countries to save. Now, this might be more temporary than a long-term solution, but it is incredible the level of impact she's having as a single artist. And I talked about last week on a smaller scale, some of what she's doing, the crazy business judo move that she is doing against Scooter Braun, music manager, to re-record her old albums. And in fact, I think I can say this, I talked to Cutie Cinderella about it, and she sent me like way more info about the whole thing, which I'm going to include. So I want to talk about this interview that she sent me, which is actually incredible.
Which brings us to Scooter Braun.
Yeah.
Earlier this summer, Scooter Braun, a talent agent with whom Swift says she has a contentious relationship, acquired the rights to her previous recordings, her masters, when his company bought Scott Borchetta's Big Machine label group for a reported $300 million.
All right, so she fucking hates this guy, right? And he buys the rights to all of her music, basically her first 6 albums, for $300 million without her knowledge.
Borchetta, who worked with Swift for years, says she and those close to her, including her dad, who was an investor, knew about the deal in advance, and that Swift had previously been offered the chance to buy her own masters. She remembers it differently.
And so you didn't see it coming? No. So how did you find out?
I found out when it was online, like when it hit the news.
Nobody in your inner circle
Nobody knew.
So she gets blindsided for the rights to all of her own music.
I knew he would sell my music. I knew he would do that. I couldn't believe who he sold it to because we've had endless conversations.
To someone that she doesn't like.
And he has 300 million reasons to conveniently forget those conversations.
Boom. So Scooter Braun has 300 million reasons to forget those conversations. Rather than just like many artists saying, wow, this fucking sucks. This industry is pretty predatory to artists. I'm locked into bad contracts. She had her team look at the contracts. And what happened was they realized, there's nothing stopping me from re-recording the same songs and releasing them as a new version that I completely own the masters to. And she did that. And since last week, we've been able to dive into the numbers. And the numbers are staggering. The blue bars here are the new versions of the album. This is the streaming demand. The red bar are the one that he spent $300 million for. So literally, she's getting 2 or even 3x amount of streams on the new versions, which means all of the money they spent to buy the old versions is looking pretty wasted, especially if she ends up re-recording the last 2 albums they own that don't have any re-recorded versions. So it's actually kind of an incredible move. I'm legitimately impressed from a business POV. And again, we mentioned it last week, but the follow-up is that labels are scrambling because they've sort of been exposed, blindsided by the fact that like the artist, which has all of the fan connection and social media presence, can just tell their fans to stream the new version. It wasn't possible back in the day, and so they have to update their contracts to measure up against. Now, this effect of pop stars on economies is not limited to only Taylor Swift. Let's go check in on Sweden. This is pictured as the Swedish Prime Minister. His name is Sir Linkus von Ludwigsson, and pictured in traditional Swedish garb of a cowboy hat and aviators. Linkus von Sweden. Sir Linkus von Sweden. Checking out Sweden, you may have noticed they're experiencing pretty high inflation. The price of meatballs continues to rise. And the blame, in their case, was placed entirely on a different pop star, Beyonce. Swedish economists were saying that Beyonce's concerts in Stockholm were the cause of rising inflation in Sweden because so many people were traveling there to buy things and the demand was so high it was raising the prices, which got a lot of pickup. New York Times did a story, "The Unexpected Beyonce Effect, Hotter Inflation." Now, no one followed up, though, on their stories just a month later when she left the country and inflation kept going. Except for Financial Times, which sort of proved that maybe Sweden just has a bad inflation problem. Because after she left, it dropped to like 0.2, but it's still like 9.7% inflation. Prices are rising pretty fucking crazy. Taylor comes, economy saved. Beyonce comes, caused inflation, wild bias. I think it's the same problem. It's just that inflation's already ripping in America. But wait, 1 second. Let me see if I can turn off my Discord noise because it is annoying. 1 second, just for the rest of this video. Maybe I can just actually. Oh yeah, that's really annoying, isn't it? Streamer mode on. Perfect. Okay, perfect. So yeah, Beyonce did not cause as much inflation as promised. And in fact, I think a lot of this pop star rhetoric is kind of a covert attempt to place the blame for some of this stuff or credit for some of this stuff on areas away from large corporations and the government, which is where most of it's being driven by. But that's not to say that A-list celebrities don't have a lot of power right now. In fact, they're in the news for a very important reason, which is the second win of this week. Strike, baby. Every A-list actor, all 160,000 working actors in Hollywood have gone on strike, with the Screen Actors Guild strike joining the Writers Guild in a dual strike in Hollywood, which has not happened together for 60 years. In fact, the last time writers and actors struck at the same time, it was led by Ronald fucking Reagan. Who ended up being the worst person for labor movement and union power ever when he became president a few decades later. He ended up crushing unions altogether and like setting unions on a downward spiral for decades. But at the time, when it was in his interests, he actually led the Actors Guild and the Writers Guild in a dual strike that achieved its gains back in the 60s. So nowadays, we have someone a little bit better. Okay, we got more important people at the forefront of this strike, like my man Nathan Fielder. Okay, we have Fran Drescher leading the way, and so let's summarize what's going on. In May, basically 10,000, 11,000 writers went on strike. And the studios were fine with this. They had known it was coming. They had known writers were getting upset with the way the industry was trending against them, the way streaming was trending against them, the cut they were getting, the elimination of writers' rooms. But they expected this. And they had money ready. They had ways around it ready to go. And they were sure they could ride it out. In fact, there was a quote that came out from a Hollywood exec basically saying, like, we're going to wait it out until they lose their apartments, lose their houses. And we had a great video from Ron Perlman saying about how we're going to find their house and break it. But they thought they could ride it out. They did not expect the actors' strike to happen at the same time or to happen so quickly. And that is putting Hollywood in crisis mode, because actors being out, before actors went on strike, some stuff was shut down for writers, but some stuff was still working. Now, almost everything in Hollywood is shut down. Hollywood is a ghost town right now for work. And a lot of upcoming pipeline content is being completely halted for movies, television, streaming services. And now they're in real panic mode. Now they have to figure this out a lot quicker. And so they're doing all sorts of tactics to try and either intimidate striking writers and actors into giving up early. Like, for example, literally cutting the trees on the lot that strikers have no shade on the hot day. But in addition, they're threatening they're going to lose their houses. They're talking about having a long time. They're basically trying to get people to be worried economically, so they have to give up and take a bad deal. And there's a lot at stake with this deal. Again, all estimates that I've seen show this is going to be one of the longest strikes that has ever happened in Hollywood, because the stakes are so high for both sides. The future of the business has changed rapidly from the days it used to be to now the more streaming era. There is so much potential revenue at stake for all future deals. And one of the big questions in the room is AI. So again, the studio sent the proposal to Screen Actors Guild, and their proposal included the idea that they could scan a background actor using AI, pay them for 1 day's work, and then use their likeness forever with no payment or consent. Literally, you could be a background actor on one film, and they would have the rights to use you in a film forever, for the rest of your life, including, like, imagine if you're a background actor who later becomes famous. They have your rights forever. Tom Cruise maybe been a background actor when he started, and now they would have his rights forever. I mean, it's Black Mirror-esque, and that's their proposal. So obviously, there's an incredible amount of the future of the industry is at stake, and neither side wants to back down. But more than AI and more than any of that, the main thing at stake is money. And when you look at the money, it becomes staggering just how much these Hollywood CEOs, who are supposed to be able to handle this kind of situation and aren't, are being paid. Again, the estimated cost, this is kind of cut off. Let me see if I can show this. The estimated cost of the combined contracts from Screen Actors Guild and Writers Guild is estimated between $450 million and $600 million a year. That's what it would take to completely solve this problem for the studios. Guess what? David Zaslav, head of the great idea to turn HBO Max into Max, gets paid $495 million a year by himself to ruin a company. All he's done is bury that company in debt and make poor choices, and he's getting paid basically enough to solve the strike on his own. Ari Emanuel makes $346 million. And Bob Iger, a man that I've talked about before, makes $200 million on his own. And I think shareholders, you start asking the question, why are we paying these guys so much? If they can't even solve this problem, why don't we just give the money to these writers and get the production working again and have the companies working? Because right now, revenue is going to dry up if they can't make new content. And so I saw this thread that I thought was pretty interesting. Speaking of Bob Iger, I want to talk about this thread. This guy, Nick Pappas, basically said, it's easy to get mad at Ted Sarandos or David Zaslav or Bob Iger, but they get paid so much because their only job is to make rich people richer. The guilds aren't fighting against rich CEOs. They're fighting against an entire system designed to exploit workers. A-list actors get paid so much because they're worth it. Someone has done the math. Again, people are more likely to go see the movie. And they're worth it. You don't have a poster of Bob Iger hanging up in your room. And that's where I needed to stop him. That's where I needed to stop him. Because I agree with everything this guy said. I do. I really think it's a very wise thread, and I'm on the side of labor. It's unfortunate that one part of his thread was wrong. And this feels pretty tone deaf at this point. I feel like I can't in good conscience have this hanging up. Especially because, again, average union member makes $26,000 a year compared to Bob Iger's, $195 million. But also because Bob Iger went on to say this. He basically said that the demands were not being realistic. The writers and actors, which were asking for basically not even much more than they were already getting in the previous system, were not being realistic. And so Fran Drescher, head of the Screen Actors Guild, basically said, incredibly repugnant, incredibly tone deaf. And if I were Disney, I would lock him behind doors. He's making high 7 figures, 8 figures. That's crazy money. And they don't care if they're land barons of medieval time, which is pretty funny. So Bob Iger's sort of been on a couple L takes lately, especially because he had ridden off into the sunset. You know what I'm saying? Bob Iger made Disney climb from, a mid player against the streamers to launching the second biggest streamer, taking over Marvel, taking over Star Wars, big acquisitions. He had a good run. He left on top. Disney stock was up. Then he came back. For Tour 2, and Tour 2 has not been good. Tour 2 has been bad for Bobby Iger. And so, if you look at Disney stock in the past 6 months, it's down pretty significantly in response to the writer's strike. And in fact, what we're starting to notice as the actors' strike becomes a very real thing that Wall Street's now pricing in, is that some media companies are doing a lot better than others, and Disney's taking the worst of it. Disney's taking the heat. Netflix, on the other hand, is like at all-time highs. I mean, Netflix is soaring. Netflix is responding extremely well to the actors' strike, and it's weird. Why is that? And if you look into the divergence, a lot of it is because Netflix has built a system where they can exploit labor from other countries to make media. Netflix is going to make 10x more South Korean outside of the labor market shows and videos, while Disney's unable to. But, and I know this seems like a terrible thing, and it is. I mean, again, if you look at if you read this article, it's filled with some absolutely horrendous quotes about the level of work expected in South Korea. They have understaffed production teams working, 20-hour days. They're forgetting whether it's day or night, working all the time to crank out shows that, again, Netflix takes all the upside on, and the creators of the show in Korea get almost nothing because they don't have a strong union there. Again, one of the benefits of the strong union in Hollywood. But I do want to say this divergence in stock prices is the beginning of getting the studios to finally break apart. This is how it worked in the last writer's strike. Basically, CBS in the last writer's strike was doing worse than the other studios and eventually started to make some breaks with David Letterman's deal and things like that to get writers back on the payroll. And what we need to have happen now is the same thing. Somebody has to break, because if all the studios are united, they have more money and they have more time. If none of them get new shows, then none of them lose market share. You know what I'm saying? They stay the same basic ratio. But if some start doing worse than the others, they will break first and they will sign a deal that makes sense. And then the other ones have to do it to keep up. So what we really want is Disney to break. And right now it's looking like they may have to. Bob Iger went from the champion conquering hero who's making Disney bigger and better, and is now looking like he may be even thinking of selling the company. Bob Iger's in a real chance of shopping Disney around to sell the entire company or sell its assets, sell Disney Plus altogether. Streaming has been a huge money-losing venture for Disney so far. And they're looking to find a way to get back to making consistent, stable profits and selling toys and doing theme parks and merch. It's interesting. I mean, this remains to be seen. Again, we're in early days of what I think is going to be a long strike, but this is the fault line you sort of want to watch, is which streamers are in a weaker position and eventually have to break. But the main question that I see when I look at Twitter is people just asking, how does this affect me and my favorite shows? Is my favorite actor still going to be at Comic-Con? It's like, can I just watch the sequel? Like, people don't seem to care, even though this is a pretty large, like, fulcrum Benjamin, for the labor movement. Like, this is a big deal that has a lot of implications for future labor movement actions. People are asking, how's it affect my favorite shows and movies? And the answer is, you're going to see a lot more of this. If you want the honest answer, from a business POV, right now, every studio is greenlighting a fuck ton of reality TV because reality TV is like the only thing that really gets around both writers and actors strikes. It's like the only thing they can consistently crank out that requires no writers and no actors. This is going to be everywhere. I mean, this is going to be what you're going to see pushed. This and foreign-made content, largely from like South Korea and places that have sort of established mini Hollywoods. That's what you're going to see, because that's where they can still reliably create things, and that's what we're going to try and hold you down with to get through the lack of new big screen releases from major actors and writers. So we'll see. I mean, if you love MILF Manor. It is going to be an exciting couple of months for you, or maybe a year. We'll see. But if you don't, hopefully you can support the labor movement to break, to get the studios to fold. Now, that being said, if this type of content is rising, I was thinking, who's going to be the big star that fills the gap? If Tom Cruise and Cillian Murphy and Margot Robbie can't go do promotions and they can't do movies, who's going to be the star that fills the gap in this weird, lawless, no actors, no writers environment? And unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, if I look at the trends, look at where things are going with attention spans, there's really only one woman, Pinky Doll. Her trademark catchphrase, ice cream so good, is clearly going to be the catchphrase of the summer. This is the new superstar. This is our new queen. Gang, gang, rise up. Because she has legitimately turned what was like a weird live stream NPC talk kind of thing for making, at the start, she made like, again, $250 a day, which is pretty incredible for what she was doing. But now she's making something like $100,000 a month. This has not become something to make fun of her. This has become something where she's grown fucking drastically. And so there's a video that kind of explains that I want to watch, pretty short. We'll watch this and just get into it. Risque thumbnail.
TikTok Live is certainly one of the weirdest places on social media, and TikTokers like Pinky Doll are bringing that weirdness into the limelight as videos of her and other users acting like NPCs and reciting call and response words for GIFs have gone viral.
I mean, this is just
but
jingling
why is
keys,
TikTok
bro.
Live so strange? TikTok's Live feature allows users with over 1,000 followers stream on the app, offering them a chance to show up on For You pages. Viewers are able to purchase and send live streamers gifts, which are then converted into diamonds on the streamer's end, which can then be converted into real money.
I like how obfuscated the fucking payment system is on TikTok too. It's fucking, it's gifts into diamonds into currency.
Because of this, many live streamers will do just about anything to keep viewers watching and giving them gifts. That often means doing bizarre and embarrassing things to keep viewers' attention, including offering incentives for giving gifts. So what are TikTokers doing to get these gifts? TikToker Pinky Doll has
gacha game model,
popularized
yes.
NPC streams, in which she impersonates video game NPC characters by acting out various idle animations and responding when she gets a gift. During the streams, she says a specific word or phrase or performs a particular action depending on the gift she gets, resulting in a bizarre word soup when taken out of context.
Hee-haw, yes, you got me feeling like a cowgirl. Are you ready? It's time.
She also makes popcorn and opens and closes a hair straightener to add another attention-grabbing element to the streams. Cherry Crush is another TikToker who's gone viral for doing the same thing, including pretending to eat.
It's so funny because originally it was humans saying something real, and then we put like Subway Surfers in the corner to keep the brain going. And then eventually people realized that all they wanted was the Subway Surfers. So humans are giving up the real part altogether and becoming the Subway Surfers. Human beings are becoming the attention and just cutting out the content altogether.
Viewers send her food gifts.
Pumpkin, yum!
Then there's
Ice Cream's
Shoot,
so
a
good.
TikToker who cosplays as a living doll and acts like an NPC while ASMR water dripping sound effects play in the background. Weird TikTok lives like this started to go viral outside of the app in July 2023, inspiring a lot of reactions. One user wrote that they were afraid for humanity after watching a Cherry Crush stream, while another wrote that they had never been more confused after watching a Pinky Doll live. Comedian Britt Miggs even made a parody video mocking the live streams.
Yum, yum, yum. Beelzebub won't spare you.
While these bizarre lives have only just started going viral outside of TikTok, the app's users and several YouTubers who have posted video essays on the topic have been aware of the weirdness of TikTok Live for quite a while. Other weird live videos include the bolt stacking streams, in which users stack towers of bolts as high.
Anyway, this is the end game of all content, but I want to say clearly a star has emerged because Pinky Doll is getting I mean, she like 750,000 likes. She's got like at one point a million views on a live stream, and the top viewer was music producer Timbaland. So I am not surprised if within a few months we have a fucking Pinky Doll Song of the Summer, Gang Gang, or a Pinky Doll fucking Netflix show. The rate of pace of change of culture is crazy. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's insane. It's insane. Culture being brain rot. Hey, decades of brain rot, bro. This is all part of it. It's just speeding up. Legit have no idea how a grown adult finds this entertaining. Gang gang. Just say it. Just say it. You'll feel it. Say, ice cream so yum. A couple times, and you'll get the vibe. Anyway, I'm impressed that they're getting this dough. I am a little worried about humanity, but if NPC talk is the future, NPC talk is the future. And speaking of NPCs, who owns 98% of all video game NPCs now? Our fourth consecutive winner, Microsoft. Because Microsoft has basically all but in name only, completed their acquisition of Activision Blizzard. The FTC's appeal has been denied, and that leaves just one country left, the UK Competitive Markets Authority, as the holdout. And even that, it seems, has been bullied into backtracking. It's very likely they'll reach a deal. In fact, I watched today, this morning, I woke up early to watch the live-streamed UK CMA hearing between Microsoft and the UK. And unfortunately, I was going to record it and include it in this video until this popped up. You can still see my Hitman speedrun live split on the right. And then I figured, well, I don't want to get in trouble with the law on this one. So I have officially deleted the recording. Don't worry. By the way, it was so incredibly oi bruv. I mean, they were just fucking jabbering. They were just waffling. This guy fucking waffled so long to say nothing, to say absolutely nothing. I mean, it was so incredibly boring. I couldn't have showed it anyway. But the gist of it was clear that the UK is willing to back down. They don't want to be the only country out. And Microsoft does not want to go through with the deal until the UK is part of it. They don't want to actually split off Activision into Activision UK or something weird. So they're just going to wait. So the deal has been delayed. It's going to close later than planned. They were going to try and close like by tomorrow, but instead it's going to be a few more weeks or even a month. But it seems very likely it will happen. And again, there's a lot I want to say about this. I've talked about it in the previous Marketing Monday. Immediately after the deal was like pretty much confirmed in the US, they already started doing an Xbox only Call of Duty sale, which is like trademark undercutting. Like they're doing instant, like classic Monopoly techniques instantly on like important inputs. Normally important inputs like, lemons for lemonade or bread for a grocery. Call of Duty is like a third of the video game market on consoles. And they are immediately doing price cuts for Xbox users only. Even though they offered deals to to Nintendo and Sony, it's incredible that like they're already doing what they said they sort of like wouldn't even think about doing. And they haven't even closed the deal yet. Again, Lee Hepner here writes that like not just Microsoft Blizzard, but in general, that when content creators, basically like game studios, merge with the distributors, it's always been bad. Back in the early days of Hollywood, they had to break up the studio system where the studios owned theaters. Because if you own distribution and creation, it gives you so much power to like basically force users to watch crap. It like reduces innovation, etc. It's pretty bad. But I'm whining too much, okay? Actually, one more thing. One more thing. Also, Microsoft initially offered Sony a deal that included all Activision console titles on Sony, including future versions of Call of Duty. The second they won against the FTC, they pulled that deal and offered them a worse deal. Which again is like, I mean, they just completely are saying the opposite of what they're going to do in court and then doing different. And no one seems to follow up or care from the government. And so Sony has signed the new deal. They have Call of Duty only now, 10 years. And maybe it's bad, maybe it's good. You know, we'll see. We'll find out. At first, obviously, for all of these reasons, I was against it. But then I thought about one thing. This leak. StarCraft 3 is in development, bro. Let's go! Microsoft money makes StarCraft 3. Poggies. I'm a consumer. This is good for me. I like StarCraft. I might get a game I like. Who cares about Monopoly, bro? Big win. Give me my slop. Give me my slop, bro. I cannot wait. I'm gonna be fucking Napoleon on this bitch. And so, Napoleon, speaking of conquering, speaking of StarCraft 3 and perhaps the best country at it going forward, that brings us to the final segment of Wins and Fails. An illustrious, noble segment, known for its powerful geopolitical takes. Let's go to my man Xi Jinping for a segment I like to call What's up, Beijing? And you know what's up in Beijing? Youth unemployment. Actually not so pog. In fact, 1 in 5 job seekers among 16 to 24-year-olds in China cannot find a job. A shockingly high, staggeringly high, record high, 21.3% youth unemployment rate in China. And the recovery that was promised after they opened up after COVID, because again, China had the world's strictest COVID lockdowns, mandatory testing, people locked in their homes, testing in every location, restricted access outdoors. After they opened that up, the expectation would be there would be this massive surge in tourism, travel, spending, buying, factories opening, and that has not really emerged. The economic growth has been a lot slower than expected, and that has caused a big problem for people that are graduating right now in China and trying to find a job. And so this article, which I'm sort of deep diving on today, talks about China's full-time children, they're called. That's the word for it in China, where people are either giving up overworked jobs or unable to find a job and living with their parents and just becoming, quote, full-time daughters or full-time sons. The 29-year-old now spends her days washing dishes, preparing meals for her parents, and doing other household chores. Parents pay for most of the daily expenses, but she refused their offer of a monthly wage. Now, the main things here are either burnt out, jobless, or stuck. And it's worse in China than it is here simply because of one system, which is called the 996 work culture, where they're expected to work 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 6 days a week. That is the standard work culture for a lot of these competitive jobs in China, which is burning people out so much they are quitting the workforce. So again, when I say youth unemployment is 21%, that's already really high. That's of people who are looking for jobs. There's also a huge cadre of young Chinese citizens who are not looking for jobs because they burnt out and quit. The level of work is insane. And again, she's working 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and said she has barely anything left for paying rent. And that's with living with her parents. So it's crazy. Now, I sort of related to this part where she said when she moved back in with her parents, she started to live the life of a retiree, but anxiety began creeping up on her. She had 2 voices in her head. One is saying it's rare to have this leisure, so just enjoy the moment. And the other is urging you to think about what to do next. And I think we, or probably even more you guys than me, can relate to that, where it's like you have these 2 competing pulls to like, hey, I want to enjoy life a bit. I want to take a break and I want to enjoy myself. But then you have the anxiety in the back of your head of like, I have to earn money. I have to like find a way to grow. I always have to be improving or increasing my earnings or whatever. And so I want to include this because I think, again, one of the goals of What's Up Beijing, this segment, is to make China seem more accessible and relatable and understandable. Even if I disagree a lot with some government decisions, some of them I do agree with it. I want to make the average citizen realize that like most people are the same. So interesting talk there. And again, the memes there are out of control. So Chinese social media is filled with memes of people basically taking graduation photos and pretend like the Grimace Shake. They basically turned graduation into the Grimace Shake. Memes on Chinese TikToks are basically about how you graduate and then you're dead. because there's no options for jobs, which is pretty funny. The situation is quite bad. People are tired and many are trying to opt out. There's a lot of despair, which is not that funny. But what I want to say is, the incredible amount of overtime, 996 is crazy. But China tells a different story. The government tells a different story. They're not calling it unemployment. They're calling it slow employment. And basically, the Chinese government is downplaying the whole thing and saying that, people are actively choosing to opt for slow employment, which is that they're taking their time to find jobs, they're traveling, and they're taking a gap year. They're not unable to find a job. They're just taking a little bit of a break. And so that is an interesting way to look at it. But that wasn't really resonating. A lot of people on Chinese social media before it got deleted were saying things like, this is not the case. I can't find a job, etc. And so an even better solution emerged from Xi Jinping himself, who basically said, if you can't find a job, you need to learn how to eat bitterness. They're basically talking up the virtue of hardship. Basically, like the fact that you can't find a job is going to make you a tougher person. It's going to make you tough. We got to all eat bitterness. We got to suck it up and stay strong. That's the grind set, dude. That's the Xi Jinping, don't be a little bee, build character, grind harder grind set. That is why China, we can't beat, they have more high-speed rail than us. They're grinding. Now, it's easy for us to laugh right now because in the West, and especially in America, we have record low unemployment right now. Now, I don't think the quality of the jobs are as high as people say, and I think there's some cracks under the surface. But right now, we have low unemployment. If you want a job, there's a lot of postings available. But layoffs and jobless claims have started to tick up. It's a number I keep bringing up because people seem to want to ignore it. But 92% of Americans live in a state with higher continuing jobless claims than the previous month. Shit is starting to tick up. And if this were to happen here, I don't know what our policy would be. I don't know what our solution, I don't know what our version of eat bitterness and slow unemployment is. I'm interested to find out. I do feel like we are trending in the wrong direction on unemployment. And that is until I thought of the perfect solution to all of our problems. The Eras Tour 2. And the economy is saved. If we just have Taylor Swift never stop touring, if she never stops working like a Christ-like figure, she can save all of our economies. Just travel the world and never stop touring. It'll be hard for her, but great for the rest of us. So hopefully we can use that. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of this week's Marketing Monday. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the wins and fails. And I'll see you next week for another edition of Marketing Monday. PogChamp, thank you for watching. Appreciate it. Appreciate everyone's good chat messages and support on the video today, and just thank you. I know I have been extremely inconsistent for the past couple months, even on just stream stuff. But I'm feeling pretty motivated and I feel good about the work that's done, and I feel good about the content coming up. Again, Quacks has made some great videos. So I just want to say thank you extremely much. I really do. I really, really appreciate it. Ari appreciates it. There's definitely some people in this chat, in this community, that have made this experience a lot easier, which is a very hard time. So thank you very much. That's all I want to say. I don't want to do a big speech about it. I think it's lame. I just want to say it because I appreciate it. Name all of them. Shut the fuck up. Anyway, it's 8:44, which I think is a perfect time to relax for a bit. I'll answer some questions if anyone has any. I can answer questions, and then we're going to watch House. I think we'll watch House MD and chill end up the night. Atrioc, if they're not looking for employment, aren't they typically factored out of the employment equation? Yes. I think I mentioned that. Yeah, I said 23% or 21% is already really high, and that doesn't even include people that are not looking, that have given up because they're burned out. The number is very staggeringly high. I mean, a lot of people, recent college graduates in China are having a lot of hard time finding work, and if they do find work, it's incredibly grueling. Same goes for USA number. Yes, I mean, USA's number is a little bit cooked because we have an incredible amount of rising disability cases as a result, I think, of long COVID. There's a lot of people that are opting out of looking for a job right now because they're dealing with ongoing health issues. And I mean, the numbers are at all-time highs of people requesting disability. And so that they're not looking for a job. So our unemployment rate seems a little bit lower than it is. Also, there's a number of young men. I mean, the number of young men who are opting out to just play video games, I assume some of them are in my chat, is high. It's high, and they're not looking for jobs. And that's, and so that makes our unemployment rate seem lower than it is. Giga Chad Poggy's me. Yeah, again, if people can't find, I mean, a large part of this is because, wages have not kept up with productivity. And so as inflation rises and prices get out of control, people realize they're not going to give up an hour of their time to work for, in some states, a minimum wage that earns them nothing. Like it is not worth the time spent. They'll find something else to do. I mean, it's just not. And so unless the wages rise commensurately, people just won't go back to work in certain locations. But it depends on the location. Have you heard of the 995 working hours in China? Bro. First of all, it's 996. And second of all, it was like a minute ago. It was like 1 minute ago that I did a whole slide on it. What do you just, how did you even hear that we're talking about China, but not that part? I don't understand. I actually don't understand. You had to come in at just the exact right time. Inflation numbers were really good in the US recently. Does that mean interest rates are like peak interest rates? Yeah, inflation numbers are amazing. Actually, if you look at, there's a great website, trueflation.com. This is much better number used by like bond traders and stuff. This is a much better accurate number of inflation than what like the U.S. reports like on a long dated or quarterly basis. And inflation has been dropping. It's in a good spot. Now, that being said, this looks kind of better than it is, right? Because you imagine it's only still rising by 2.25%. That doesn't mean the prices are falling. It means they're just rising slower. So if a Chipotle burrito used to cost $8 and now it's $14, that means it's rising to $14.12 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? The prices are still like, people are like still getting sticker shock on all these prices. They're not rising as fast, which is a good sign. Don't get me wrong. But we haven't seen any sort of like, are you planning on releasing YouTube videos anytime soon? Yes, 100%. This week. Quack has worked on some videos. The team has worked on some videos, and I think I'm gonna give like a day or two for the update video, and then I'm just gonna start uploading. We have videos coming. We did a really funny Fast and the Furious stream. I'm really excited about the video for that. We did the video where I reviewed like bad investment TikToks. That's a good one. I think there's some good stuff coming up. So, will housing crash? Is apartment housing killing me? Tough to say. There's kind of two forces at work, and the number one is that people aren't selling. If you guys know how housing work, you get a mortgage, right? And in 2021, people got mortgages for like 2%. So it's a pretty low payment. But now all the mortgages you get are like 7%. So the payments are very high. And so nobody wants to sell their low mortgage house to get a high payment. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to do that. So a lot of boomers are just sitting on their houses. Now, my guess is that once the Airbnb stuff really crashes, which it already has, and the short-term rental stuff starts crashing, we're going to see forced sales. Lots and lots and lots of forced sales, which should drive down the price pretty dramatically. Plus, a lot of home builders have been building houses at a record rate, at least for the US, which has been underbuilding for a long time. And once those come online, so I think we're not too far off from a pretty significant, or at least a steady decline in housing prices, but there's no one knows for sure, because the fact remains is that we have a huge amount of 30-year-olds. 30 and 31-year-olds are the biggest population group in America right now. They are all wanting to buy houses, and everyone who has a house is refusing to sell. So it's a weird time. It's balancing out. How do we bring the price of Chipotle back down to $8? I very much doubt the price will ever go down. I think wages might go up, but I think it's very unlikely to see prices that have already inflated decrease. I think they're just going to slow at a lower rate until we get down to 2%, and then you have to get wages to catch up. Which is why I think companies very, very much hate the idea of ever increasing wages for any reason. And that is why we're seeing, because inflation has sort of kicked in and the prices have become like known to be high and staying that way, we're seeing more labor movement than ever before. And I think it's not one individual thing. I think it's a lot of people all across a lot of industries realizing like, hey, this is fucked. Like, my wages have not kept up with the cost of my life. Rent is high, housing is high, food is high, and I need wages to match. And so we're seeing more strikes than ever before. We're seeing more labor movements than ever before. I think it's because people have to collectively organize in response to this fucking times just don't make sense. Why can't we pin all the debt in the world onto one person on the world and then kill them? The Jesus Christ method? Yeah, I mean, I guess we could try it. I don't. So crazy it might work. He died for our student loans. Need an India segment? Dude, I think we're going to start needing one. There was an incredible article. I couldn't include it in Marketing Monday. Let me see if yeah, dude, let's look at this. Let me look at this. This is fucking awesome. I read this morning. So look, this is the world as it was. Dude, I'm so fucking boomer. This is the year I was born. Dude, 32, 1991. Oh, God. That used to feel like a young year, you know? I remember being like, dude, I was born in 91. I'm young as shit. Like, when I started working at Twitch, I was like the only person born in the 90s. We're all 80s or 70s people. And I was like, I'm the 90s kid. Like, this is cool. And now, like, time is already it's 10 years later. Anyway, back in 1991, you can see that most of the world is young. The blue and the green is young. So China has this huge middle-aged, working-age population, 25 to 45. United States, same thing. But a lot of the global south is young. Western Europe's pretty working age. Everything is, in the 90s, we have this huge glut of people in working age, and things are great. And economic growth is fucking booming. And then we go, all right? go through time. Everyone's growing. Things are great. Then we get into the 2000s. And you start to notice over here, you can't really see it because of your chat. Start to notice people aren't having that many babies in the 90s and the 2000s, 2001s. And so everyone alive is good. There's a big population boom earlier, but they're getting older and no new babies not as many babies are coming. And you start to see Japan turn yellow in 2010. Now they're like old. Now Japan's like an old society in 2010. Like they already have like too many old people. That's 13 years ago. Now it's deep yellow. Japan is a quarter of the population is 65 and older, making Japan the oldest large country ever. That's in 2013. Okay. Now you see Western Europe is starting to get, they're getting kind of old. UK, France, Italy. Not enough kids, not enough working age people. Keep going. This is the year we're in now, 2023. Japan's really old. Europe's getting there, and everyone else seems okay. Let's flash forward 10 years. Your guys is like, this would be normal for you. 2033. Okay, now we got United States looking pretty old. We got Western Europe having record old age. Like everyone in Western Europe's a fucking boomer. Or Japan is off the deep end. South Korea is looking really terrible. Keep going. And then you start to see the real bad one, which is China. So by 2040, again, China's having a birth rate crisis. They just have not enough babies being born to sustain the population. They're going to have depopulation on a map. Like they're going to go from over 1 billion to under 1 billion. Just people are dying off, not enough being reported. And the people that are left alive are going to be old. It's going to be a real problem for China in the 2040s. So now, it's getting crazy. But United States does not get old that fast because of immigration, which is like the only superpower. I can't believe people try to choke it off. Immigration is like the only thing keeping the United States protect the population. But you'll notice who's not fucked up here. Who's the gigantic, huge economy country that all of these decades has no problem? And it's fucking India, dude. India has a huge population of young people that's going to peak in the next 10, 20 years. And they're about to have just fucking decades of boom time. I think India is in such a good spot demographically, again, through 2050. So that is why, I'm super bullish on India for the next, couple decades. I just think they're set up for what the United States had in like the 40s, 50s, 60s, and what China had in the 90s, 2000s, 2010s, which is like 30 years of just great population demographics. There's going to be no people in Europe left, reverse colonization. It would be so funny if in the year 2050, India invaded Britain. How fucking cosmically reverse would that be? Is 100 years later, it's a fucking... That's so funny. The true karmic revenge. Is it good to be that big? There's just a huge correlation between a large amount of working age population and GDP growth, and living increase, companies rising on the world stage, economic increase. Like it's happened multiple times in the past, so there's a good chance it'll happen in India. That being said, the one thing that could fuck up India's, throughout all of human history, this would be fucking amazing, right? This is just, you don't know, a gray population of boomers is bad, but AI does throw a wrench in things, because if AI replaces the need for humans for a huge amount of jobs, by 2050, then having a ton of humans is like bad. You kind of want just less people in general. So it remains to be seen. There's a lot up in the air. There's a lot up in the air. How big is too big for a country with food and land demand? Currently, food supply is not a problem. These big countries, they can get like global food supply is enough to feed everyone on Earth. It's about having the money and resources. If your country is economically rich, food supply is not a problem. But again, that's with globalization and everything. If things change and countries start cutting things off and becoming more siloed, and the world splits between the United States and China, there's a war. All that stuff would change. But right now, when everything's interconnected, mostly about being an economically rich country. If you're a rich country, everything goes well. And India's on pace to have a huge economy. India has food supply problems. Yeah, it's decreasing. As the country gets richer, the quality of food and food available to the average Indian goes up. If they're in a war or something, then it'll be a problem because they have to make their own food, which they don't, but they can import. China needs to take Taiwan before the average age of a military man is 50. You know what's crazy is that's a legitimate theory. Is that China is basically right now at their demographic peak. China has the most young people and working age people they're ever going to have. It's only going to get worse from here. Every day gets worse. And so things, and they have this debt problem that is slowly grinding down and getting worse. And I don't know, I feel like the next 5 years are a really good time for China to make a move. And if they don't, it's going to be harder and harder. Not that I'm saying I think they absolutely shouldn't. I'm just saying if they're probably thinking like that, I can see why they've been so scaling up the rhetoric. We're reaching a global RTS endgame. That's what everyone needs to grind StarCraft 3 for the future. Why does it sound like every country is in debt? Because they are. Dude, I think I knew this generally, but I've spent a lot more time lately reading about macro conditions in countries, debt to GDP, and it's like, it's crazy. The last 30 years have just been insane for debt globally. Every country has overspent. Every country has just printed money or overspent or borrowed, or debt to GDP has gotten out of control. It's record highs globally. And what that really means is that like current generations, basically the boomers, borrowed from the future. They basically borrowed from the future to pull forward the good times. If you really think about it like what it is, it's like boomers borrowed from future generations to make everything better and the growth train run longer now. But once that runs out, like everyone else has to deal with the fucking problem. So it disillusions me. I get angry about it. Unstable limited to the 4 months. Alex Jorquera, I think of the 23. Blew out, think of the 20 months. Attractive Book of the 10 months. Hey, Big A, if you have the time, what books do you recommend for self-growth, personal relationship stuff? The best book I think is a good intro that I always recommend is Algebra of Happiness. Algebra of Happiness is basically a short book with like simple, sort of proven studies on things that are proven to make you happy, and why. And so they're like good ways of thinking about how you want to like live your life. Like what are things that are going to be important to me? What should I prioritize? It's not math. No, it's not a math book. Like it's like, but I always recommend that. There's no pictures in it. Yeah. I also recommend One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish. Pretty deep book that'll really give you a new meaning on life, new lease. Have you seen House before? I've seen House like way back when it came out, sort of. I don't remember anything of it. This House watch is new. We're going to get to House in just a minute. It's 9 o'clock. So I'm down to watch House really soon. I'm just answering some questions. Big A, I've been reading Barbarians at the Gate and it's such a fun read. Dude, isn't it? Barbarians at the Gate is like the best business, one of the best business books I ever read. It's a detailed account of how these huge fucking ego executives at a tobacco company tried to buy Nabisco crackers and make the greatest merger in American history at the time. And just like fucking the infighting, the pettiness, the fucking backstabbing, it's like real life Succession. I mean, it's crazy. Good book, Barbarians at the Gate. But it's a thick one. It's not an intro book, dude. Watch Peter Zehan. I do. I was just talking with Lud. That's so funny. I was just on a hike with Lud and we were talking about Peter Zehan. Peter Zehan, do you guys know the Matt Damon Goodwill Hunting meme? This one. Of course that's your contention. You're a first year Gatorade drinker. That's how I feel about Peter Zehan, where it's like, I used to be super fucking Peter Zehan pilled. And then I read people who are like one level after him. They're like, actually, he's wrong about this. So now I'm like, oh yeah, you like Peter Zehan? I'm cool with that. But honestly, he's a great intro. And the way he talks about demographics is fucking amazing. You know what? I might loop around to loving him again. To be honest, I think he's great. But he's a speaker that talks about demographics and the future and how we got here and all that. He's good. He's got good videos. Check him out. What did you think about Succession ending? I've only watched Succession episode 1. So my plan was I was going to skip to the ending, watch the ending, and then guess what happened in the middle. But I haven't done that yet. I've only seen episode 1. What did Zehan get wrong? He just makes kind of wildly, I wouldn't say baseless, but speculative predictions about the future 50 years out with, extreme confidence that aren't, that doesn't bear that out. Yeah, he just says things that are just falsifiable. Should I buy a call center in India and grind? I mean, the idea is that India would become more of a superpower economy and have more to do than call center. But you know what? I'm just going to tell you yes. Check it on me in 20 years. I want to hear from you in 20 years and you're like a fucking tycoon in India. You're just a fucking Indian billionaire, dude, who owns... Can I buy a Wetzel's Pretzels in the New Delhi airport? Ironically, that's kind of a fucking dream. I would love that. I have a secret urge to just fucking fly to New Delhi, set up a Wetzel's and just chill, dude. Just show them amazing American pretzels, live my life, take a huge fucking markup, grow with the economy, own 100 Wetzel's. I'll be the Wetzel's fucking magnate of India. Climate change is going to cook India, isn't it? Dude, China just had one of, I think, their hottest day on record. Although I think we had it in America too. Actually, parts of Europe, America, and China just had their hottest days on record. Climate change is a problem around the globe, brother. Yeah, I mean, I saw a thing in China where they had to people had to stay indoors in a certain part. I think, it was China hottest day. Yeah, this is what I was reading. This was it. This is the article I was reading. John Kerry flew to China on the hottest day ever, and he's the climate envoy. It's funny to be the U.S. climate envoy and arrive when they're fucking sweltering, because you feel like you have... It feels like you have some evidence. Like, just look around. It's like, hey, need you guys to cut coal emissions. Look around. But I don't think China's gonna do. Although it's fucked because China's not the largest emissions, but not the largest per capita. America's the largest per capita. So we're both kind of the problem. And China burns the most coal, but also builds the most solar. So they're doing a lot. They just also do a lot of bad. It's weird. It's tough to say. Yeah, China is building the most renewable energy. I was listening to a very interesting podcast from an energy trader. Basically said like, hey, the end game of everything, if you really look at the fucking physics of it, is nuclear. Like nuclear is by far the best energy source that humanity's ever created. And the fact that we don't use it is fucking crazy. Nuclear solves energy problems, it increases energy independence, it reduces pollution, it's the greenest. I mean, nuclear is fucking awesome. And the reason we don't do it is because of fucking 3 Mile Island like fucking 40 years ago. And the fucking nuclear panic. And if we just change the name, I literally think nuclear has a marketing problem. If they just change it to like fucking elemental energy or something and put the Pixar characters on it, if they just called it fucking elemental energy or something and rebranded it, we should have so many nuclear plants built. It's fucking crazy how much better it is than everything else. The problem with solar and like wind is like the land requirements are just 10, 20, 30x higher than, so you have to use like huge chunks of land to get equal amount of creation. And then, you know, coal and natural gas and everything is bad for the environment. So nuclear is just fucking awesome, man. I'm nuclear pilled. I'm a nuclear cell, nuclear pilled gang, dude. Whatever I have to say to convince TikTokers to get on the nuclear train, that's what I am, dude. Ice cream. Nuclear. Uranium. Yeah, I just want like a big picture of Claude on the side of every nuclear plant in America. When are we going to do a no stupid question stream? I'm kind of doing it right now, bro, but I'll do an official one for sure. All right. Is everyone here? Well, I'll answer a few more questions because I got a little bit of time. And then once I do house, I'm done. So the issue is nuclear is so much more expensive to set up. Yeah, but it's an upfront cost for energy independence and green energy and a long-term solution. It's just smart for government to do. It's what a government should do is take tax dollars and make long-term bets that benefit the economy. It's like what a government, it's just what a government should be designed to do. And we don't. Look what happened in Germany, dude. Germany had a bunch of nuclear plants that were working great. They shut them down to rely on cheaper Russian natural gas. And then Ukraine happened. And then Germany has a fucking energy inflation problem like crazy. I mean, like, it's awesome to have your own nuclear plant. It's just fucking great. You got to bury plutonium 20 miles deep. I think it's a solvable problem. I think the waste of it is overhyped as a fucking detriment, especially compared to like what we're doing with coal and nat gas and oil, dude. I think legitimately it's like the damage to the environment is significantly less. Nuclear crisis in France. I hadn't seen that. I'll check it out. Solar creates 300x more toxic waste than nuclear. I can't verify that stat, but insane if true. I do know that solar is like, this guy, again, I'm taking my opinions from somebody intelligent that I was listening to, but I was, looking into it, and it just seems like it's been overpromised and underdelivered. It's not an effective long-term solution, especially for most countries. And what's interesting is like, it was a new way of thinking about it for me, which is like basically that if you really think about what money is when you boil it down, it's almost like a dollar bill is basically a claim on energy. Like all human beings is basically transferring energy activity back and forth. And so, it's sort of why we get, like, if you print more dollars but don't change the amount of energy you have, the dollars becomes worth less. And one good way to show that is like, so the median house in like the 70s, you could buy it for, I don't know, $100,000 or 4,400 barrels of oil. And now the median house in America, or in most countries, is like, fucking 800,000, way more, way higher, million. House prices have gone way up in dollars. The median house still costs exactly 4,400 barrels of oil. Like the house price in oil has not changed at all. So at the end of the day, like what we're really trading for with goods and services, like claims on energy. Like energy is the thing that makes the entire economy go. And we put this fucking layer of dollars as an abstraction on top of it, but the shell game can only run so long. Yeah, you can think about it as labor, if not energy, but the same idea. So it's like V-Bucks. Yes, you got it. That's what I think to sum it all up, we've talked about today, it's all like V-Bucks. If that really, does everyone get it now? Does everyone understand the economy and understands? It's like Fortnite V-Bucks. It's like Sussy Among Us. Have you read Piketty's Capital? No, I own it. I've tried. It's dense, bro. Do I have it right here? Fucking Book is not a light read. Post-communism and the social nativist trap. Let us return now to the specific political, ideological situation of post-communist Eastern Europe, notably in relation to this rise of social nativism. There is no doubt that all the post-communist countries are suffering from widespread disillusionment in the wake. It's just like, it's a tough nighttime read, bro. They give it a 15. I missed the start of Marketing Monday, so I'm going to go to bed and watch the VOD. Good night, Glarketer. Thank you very much. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's forget this economic shit, bro. Boo! Let's listen to a fucking hero who gets shot and saves lives and does ket, aka Dr. Gregory House. Season 3, by the way, episode 1, season 3 fucking ruled. It was incredible off the rip. So I'm excited to go into episode 2. House is back. He took ket. His leg hurts again. I'm stoked. I'm gonna turn the lights off, get snackies, get a drink. I thought he did Vicodin. He did Vicodin last season, but then he did ket to get rid of his Vicodin addiction. Keep up, bro. Keep up. Get snacks, get drinks, and we'll watch House season 2 or season 3, episode 2. Let me check the title. House MD Nights. House MD Nights. Ket, welcome.